Hi guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Andy's Man Club Mersey Blue podcast. So I'm joined tonight by my co-host Carl. How are you, lad?
I'm great, thank you, mate. And you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. And of course, by our North American correspondent, Mark. How are you doing over in Michigan, lad?
I'm doing all right. All things considered, I'm doing great. It's better to be seen than viewed.
Probably the same for all of us. These folks can see our little cartoon graphics up on the screen there. Okay, so tonight then we're going to basically just go over the US tour, go over the individual matches, get Mark's opinions on what happened in Chicago there, and then we'll finish up with like a little bit of transfer chat. Okay, so let's get into it then, boys. So game one was at the MetLife Stadium, New Jersey, versus Bournemouth. Spoiler alert, we lost to 3-0. So we went with the 4-2-3-1. So Pickford in goal, Patterson, Garner, O'Brien, Mikalenko. In front of them, Irabunum and Garner Guy. And then we had Njai, Alcaraz, McNeil and Beto. There were no goals, obviously, from the Blues. Initial thoughts, Carl, what did you think of that one?
First half, I thought we started off the game in first half. I thought we were fantastic. I thought, considering what we've been playing like earlier in the pre-season, I thought we started off really, really well. And the size of the squad being the what it is, first half was great, didn't it? And then, obviously, with them making so many changes in the second half, that's what killed us, I think, because our squad's so small.
Yeah, I think fatigue played a part. What were your thoughts, Mark?
I think the heat wasn't something that everybody was prepared for, but Bournemouth had to play in the same heat and humidity. With that said, we knew that they were a superior club to us going into this, not only for our lack of dealings in the window, but were they not a top 4 or 5 club last year?
I think they finished about 9th.
Oh, they did. Okay, then they fell, but at one point they were in the top 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
Beto couldn't put the fucking ball in the ocean from the middle of a rowboat.
Yeah, I mean, their goals as well. They were terrible. I didn't watch the match live. Obviously, I had like work the next day, but I did kind of catch up, the next day and stuff. Just kind of briefly going over. So, like, they opened the score on 55 minutes. The lad, Billen, I think it was, just dribbled onto the D. No challenge at all. And I counted, there were 3 fucking defenders around him. Nobody even put a foot out. Kid just looks up. He hits a 20-yarder. Looking back in the net, you can't argue it. Absolutely no foot at all. What do you think of that one?
He's a decent player, that Billen. I don't know why he sent him out on loan. I think he went to Napoli last year. I don't know why they haven't kept him. Mind you, they need defenders, don't they, to sell them all? And you didn't seem to think when you watched the game. I mean, I unfortunately stayed up and watched it, and I had work the next day. I was stupid. I should not have stayed up and watched it.
Yeah, he walked straight from the left side of the box to the right. 3 defenders across in front of him, one coming from just abaft the beam, and he laced one. It was really a pretty goal. I would have loved to seen somebody in a blue shirt score that goal.
Yeah, I mean, lovely goal to watch, but absolutely terrible. Ataru, I think his name was. Second one on a counter-attack, just ran into the area, easily beat Nathan Patterson. Pato was, well, when they say he's with him, he's running, skipping alongside him. The lad just drilled it home again. Shocking defender. Thoughts, Mark?
Did you watch the replay in slow motion? Pato actually shuffled it onto him inadvertently. Once he turned and the ball was in his feet, Pato actually was the last touch before it hit his foot and went into the net.
Yeah, because I think that's what he said. It was Patterson that had the second goal issue, and O'Brien had the issue with the third.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. O'Brien handed it off right to whoever that was. Well, he was trying to go back to Pickford, but...
Yeah, I think he was one of their young substitutes. I think it was his first goal for them or something.
Yeah, are we talking about the third goal now with that was on 69? The ball was just basically played out of penalty box. That one where O'Brien got it and kind of spun on it and didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He went to drive it back to Jordan and he didn't get enough foot on it. And I can understand what he was thinking, because you don't want to take a shot on your own net. But he didn't account for the guys pursuing him, and he actually just put it out of Jordan's reach, and the guy ran right by him and kicked it in.
Yeah, I think all 3 goals, you could argue pre-season, and I'm not going to dig people out for mistakes. Like I say, it's pre-season, people are getting fit. The listeners know my views and probably our views really on pre-season games, but I say I didn't stay up and watch it. I'm really, really glad that I didn't, to be honest, and shoot me down in your comments or whatever, but just terrible. But at the same time, for the start of like a round robin tournament, yeah, it was a loss. It was a bit of a pounding, to be fair, but like Carl had said there, and yourself, about like the fatigue with the players and stuff, they were probably a little bit further ahead of us. They obviously had a bigger squad, which isn't very hard at the minute, but we will get to that later. Thumbs
Yeah,
down.
in the league last year, we were 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go, and we ended up losing. They brought all their subs on. Fresh legs, bang, just killed us.
Yeah.
I think the only good thing about that, and I'm going to talk more about this point in a minute in like the West Ham game, is I'd rather iron our mistakes out now than to have that 2-0 lead, like you said there, in the Prem, and to blow it like we fucking the total disaster that match was.
And I know we'll say it going forward as well, but our best player in that match was Njai, and he's probably been the best player of the tournament.
Yeah, he has, the little magician. So I think we can safely move on unless anyone's got anything else to add on to the Bournemouth disaster.
Well,
no. I was okay losing that first game. It's the first game, like you said, we're kicking the rust off. But with that said, after such a dog turd of a game, you expect to see, a quick turnaround. And I was at that game that should have been a quick turnaround, or at least a respectable showing.
The problem is the players that didn't play that well in the first game, you can't not play them in the second game because the squad's so small.
Right.
So you didn't want to play Patterson. Who else are you going to play then? O'Brien. We're seriously missing Brantwaite not being there. But we needed 50 to start the season, so I can understand that. You don't want him to come and get more long-term injured. The second game, obviously, that we're going to come on to, you can see how rusty Tarkowski was.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, it was Bournemouth? No, it wasn't. It was West Ham, the next one I'm going to talk about, where Tarky comes back, isn't it? I'm getting, they all kind of went into one for me.
Yeah, that's right. He came on early in the second half.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, boys. Let's leave Bournemouth behind. So this one, Mark, is going to be a little bit unique, really, because it was at Soldier Field in Chicago, game 2 of the 3 round robin. You, my friend, were there. I'll just run down a little summary. We can chew the fat a wee bit, and then maybe share a couple of experiences with us, Mark, because I'm sure that the listeners would love to hear, the North American perspective.
Sure. So let me start with the festivities. Right, we all gathered at a place called AJ Hudson's in Chicago, which is kind of like our Brick or Winslow. This is where everybody goes to pregame and where everybody goes postgame for beers. Great atmosphere, big crowd. It was actually chock-a-block in there. Met the guys from the Blue Room. I got to meet Graham Stewart, and you know what? He is fantastic. Oh, what a guy.
Yeah,
fantastic
Diamond.
Guy. Oh, he's great. And then it was quite festive. Lots of people from the old country that were over. You could tell by the accents as you walk through the bar. And I did what I could to try to chat with everybody who was wanting to meet Blues. Met a guy from Colombia who had come, a small town in Colombia. He was a lifelong Blue. Met a guy from Indonesia who was a lifelong Blue. People had really used this opportunity to come from all over the place, and that was fantastic. It took a poor turn, on the logistical end of planning of the game. So we talked a little bit about this, Nick. Chicago is confined by a lake, so traffic can only flow in 180 degrees of direction. So traffic can be bad in Chicago. Soldier Field is right next to Millennium Park, or down the street from Millennium Park. So in Millennium Park, they've got Lollapalooza going on. Okay? And then the next park down, they've got this game going on, which I didn't realize this until we were in the stadium. Our ticket was good for the match afterwards, which was the Man U and Bournemouth. Yeah. So here it is, 5:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. You've got Lollapalooza going on and this double match. Traffic is going to be horrendous. At 4:00, the thunderstorms started rolling in. And the thunderstorms took out a couple of power transfer boxes, which sets the stoplights to go to blinking, right? So every intersection is like a 4-way stop. One car goes, one car goes, one car goes. Not happening in Chicago at 5:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. So it was gridlock. So they got 3 school buses of all of us Blues going from A.J. Hudson's on the north side down to Soldier Field. And it took us, we were supposed to leave at 3. We ended up leaving at 4:30, and we got to the game at halftime.
Unbelievable.
It was terrible. It really was terrible. I appreciate the effort that the Chicago Evertonians made to get us down there, but I didn't think a whole lot of forethought went into it. Obviously, you can't control the weather, but you know that Lollapalooza is coming, and the people who took cabs or the people who took Ubers and left a little bit on their own, they did much better. As a big supporter of public transportation, Chicago has a subway system. We should have used it. Lesson learned. If we make this trip again and you guys happen to go over and the game is scheduled in such a way, I would take that into consideration. The other thing that was kind of a downer, not so much a downer, I mean, we adapted and overcame, but you got people who've been drinking in a bar for 4 hours, going to a game, and now they're trapped on a school bus with no place to return the goods. So let's just say I feel sorry for those kids who are riding that school bus the next day, because I saw a lot of bottles being passed all around. So now on-field product. We get down to the match. We're up a goal. Great goal. Didn't get to witness it. Yeah. The little magician at it again.
What a cross they're going to just like that. That cross from Ghana was a brilliant one.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful. Unfortunately, what I got to see was Travers come out and try to punch that ball away.
What the holy fucking hell was he doing?
Well, I'll give him this, and I don't know if you caught this, but he yelled to Miko, "Mine, I got it," or whatever the lingo they used to call responsibility. And he got hung up on Miko's lower back on his hip. I think if Miko didn't get in his way, he would have made that punch. Still, he probably could have stayed back, made the conservative play, and it would have turned out quite differently. As far as the last West Ham goal goes, that was a snipe. Far post. He tucked it in. And for them, he got to do it right in front of the West Ham crowd, which I was jealous, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think just backtracking a wee bit, those experiences sound absolutely mad, Mark. They really do, mate. I mean, I'm glad you got to the game, obviously. So I say it was like West Ham, wasn't it, that we were playing? Again, 4-2-3-1. Travers in goal, which we just discussed there. Patterson, Keane, O'Brien, Mikolenko. In front of them, Inabunam, Garner Guy, and then a little magician, Njai, Harrison Armstrong, Dwight McNeil, and staying with Beto. Like you say, I mean, that goal, the first goal, the run from like Harrison Armstrong was amazing. It was a really, really good, strong run. And, like when he just kind of rolled it to Garner, perfect weight on the pass. All right, it was a little bobble of a shot. Maybe the keeper should have had it, but we kind of give them that back with Travers, didn't we, for the opening one?
Yeah. You mentioned Harrison Armstrong. I want to touch on that. He needs to be getting regular minutes this year. Yeah. I don't want to put him out on loan. He played, for expectations wise, for everything that we've seen over the last few years, I think he could be a starter.
What do you think, Carl? Harrison Armstrong?
I don't think he's ready. And I don't think Moyes thinks he's ready. And I think that's why he's panicking about getting players in so that you can then send them out on loan.
Yeah,
I think to put that much weight on an 18-year-old's shoulders, it's not going to be easy for him. I don't think he'd play enough to be comfortably sitting on the bench, you know what I mean? That won't benefit him.
I suppose that's a fair assessment. Again, I'm not technically sound in this. I'm just taking from, if you look at all the offensive highlight reels for us, Harrison Armstrong was in there regularly making some great passes.
I agree. But would you rather have him playing at, say, Derby County for the whole season and then coming back next year and being able to get in our team? Or sitting on the bench for most of it and not getting any sort of experience at all? 10 minutes here and there.
That's also a fair assessment. But in order for that Derby County thing to happen, we got to make some signings, and I'm sure Nick's going to address that at some point in the pod. But I let's just say this: he's an asset, and he will be a greater asset going forward. I was impressed with Harrison.
I mean, when you think about going on to like what we're going to talk about later on, I'll just mention this now. Tyler Devlin talking 50+ million. I mean, what could Harrison Armstrong be if he gets into the team regular? He could be 60, 70 million. And then it's another grassroots player that we've brought through that's our own. That,
Right.
you know, PSR-wise, we're just going to blitz.
Yeah, I think it's a dilemma, isn't it, with young Harrison Armstrong? So yeah, that was our first goal. The second one, as I said, we touched on already. Mark jumped on that one there, quite rightly so. I just don't know what he was doing, but at the same time, I'd rather it ironed out in pre-season on a, with all due respect to everyone, a Nottingham game. Not was riding on it. So we went in 1-1. Couple of goalie mistakes really on either side. Half time 1-1, and then 63 minutes, another mix up in midfield. Fulkrug, I think his name was, the German lad. Ran totally unchallenged, unleashed a low shot, bottom corner. Again, bad defending, but I'm going to go back to what I said previous there. I'd rather have it now than in the Prem away at Leeds on the Monday evening.
I mean, to be fair, that hasn't been our strongest 11, strongest back four. Obviously, as I said before, we're missing Branthwaite, and Tarky in this game was only just coming back after 14, 15 weeks out.
Yeah, I mean, Tarky had the last 20 minutes, I think, didn't he? Which, to me, I stayed up and watched this one because I was on a late that day, early that day, and then I was on like a late shift the next day, so, I could have like a little bit of a lie-in. I wish I'd have went to bed, to be fair, to be 100% honest. Yeah, basically, I think just, James Tarkowski coming back was the highlight for me, and a little bit of Harrison Armstrong, really. I've got no more pluses for that one. Mark, have you got anything else to add, like with the sort of, the in-stadium atmosphere with the Blues over there and that kind of thing to round us off on this little segment?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, when you're in the United States and you've got to share a venue and an event with Manchester United, you're not going to get the turnout that you hope for. Manchester United is, riding on that late 90s legacy, and they've got more teleclappers than we got. And you saw a lot of red there. But the Evertonians really turned out in spirit. I think of the four teams that you saw in Chicago, as far as turning out in gear and singing the songs and being united, we were the gems in that one. We had the chants going on the bus, and it was nice to see people from the United States that actually knew a lot of the songs, because we don't grow up with it. We kind of get adopted into it, but it was nice to see how many people really did their homework and went out of their way to make the most of the experience and learned the songs. I think as far as football fans go, Evertonians, a guy was joking to me. He goes, "We're the ISIS of football fans. We're actually the really true believers, no matter how ugly it is." And I think that that was shown to be true in the Chicago event. So I was happy with that. Even though we got delayed getting to the stadium and we didn't get the result we want, it was really a positive experience and getting to be with Evertonians from all over the world.
Well, I mean that's amazing, Mark. I mean, thank you so much. I mean, I've been waiting to hear those stories from, like, sort of stateside. I'm sure like the listeners have and all that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, mate, on behalf of myself and Blue Nation for sharing that one with us.
I mean,
Really,
no, just as an afterthought after that, I watched the press conference after, with Moyes, and he just wasn't happy with when he was asked about Travers and his cock up, basically. He just wasn't happy with him at all. And there's a few, I think,
yeah.
he said that there's a few players he had words with after.
Wow. Let me jump back on that. Before I do, have you got anything you want to ask Mark about the match day experience, Carl, or anything like that before I jump onto that point?
It sounds like he's had a hell of a roller coaster even just getting there.
Yeah.
Anything that can go wrong did. Unfortunately, on the one day that you're looking forward to, when this tour was announced and you knew he was going to go, then all the shit happens. It's not great, but
look, in true Evertonian fashion, I wasn't going to let it ruin our day.
it's
and
we have to say.
yeah, I mean, it was Everton as it gets. No, we met nothing but fantastic people, and I was really, really proud of the turnout, and that's kind of our role at this point is, trying to grow the Everton footprint in a very large market that isn't saturated and spoken for yet the way it is in Europe, So,
Mark, did you not go on the boat? No,
I did not go on the. I didn't, and I wish that I would have had time to do that because Bainesy was on there, and I was wearing my Bainesy shirt, and I would have loved to have met him, but I didn't get to do that. I don't even know what it cost. Did you happen to see what they were charging for that?
I just seen some of the footage, the Toffee TV guys, because they were on it. They put out and stuff, and obviously Bainesy was there, and Dan Mason, Alan Irvin was there. They were talking about Moisey, and Dan scared the out of him, and then Bainesy basically said he wasn't scared of him anymore.
Yeah, I saw that interview. So before we go to a break, guys, just quickly, I just want to jump on something you said there, Carl. Moisey and his very, very public criticism of these players and the tactics and the sort of admission that players don't want to come to Everton and that kind of thing. Is he right or is he wrong? Because I'm not sure which way I feel about it. I'm more in-house, and I know he's a honest to balls, old school manager. He'll talk. He's a good manager. That's one of his main talents, his main skills. But is he out of order here, Carl? Kind of coming out to the press and doing that, or is he trying to put the owners over the barrel and say, "Well, come on, give me some fucking help here"?
He's trying to make a point, like he did at the end of the season when he was, the last game against Southampton. I thought, he's putting it on. If it's not the owners, then it's Hammond and what's his face, Angus Kinnear.
Yeah.
It's somebody. There's an issue somewhere. He's obviously identifying players, and it's not happening for whatever reason. Yeah. I mean, there's players like Fofana that I definitely 100% want. Kubo. You might look at some of them because they want Europe, and that's our big issue. But you think, try and convince them and say, with you, we're going to be taking that step, and within a year or two, if we haven't gotten to Europe by then you can leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speak to them and say, we want you to be the catalyst. You could be the saviour of this club and get us back where we belong.
Yeah. Thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, a couple of things. So I love that he's saying we need to sign more players. We need to sign more players. And as someone who is a hockey player, if I'm listening to the gaffer say that we need to sign more players, he's basically saying the guys that I got aren't getting the job done.
Yeah,
that's quite a shot across the bow. In fact, that's a direct hit. So I like that he's trying to light the fire, but he's also raising some solid points. We got a brand new barn, state of the art.
Yeah.
And that should show some of these guys that we've taken the right steps. We're making the right investment. There's clearly nothing wrong with the city because they're going to Anfield. I know it's slightly different circumstances, but I was hoping that would have a little more effect on the guys that wanted to come in,
Do you think they need a marquee signing though? Like a Grealish? Go and get him on loan, and then that'll
I would take someone like Grealish, but we were discussing this at AJ Hudson's for the Blue Room. We can't even afford to make Ndai a $300,000 a week player, and that's what Grealish is on right now.
Yeah,
I'm
but
going to
I think we couldn't buy him, but you get him on loan, pay half that in wages, say pay 10 million all in, get him for the year. That's the catalyst.
Yeah,
See,
I do agree.
I would do that. I agree, and I apologize for my lack of technical expertise on the business side. I wasn't sure how that works, but when you put it that way, I would take a Grealish.
Yeah,
and that way, I think. Sorry, if you get him, then that'll, the likes of a Kubo or a Fofana, we'll see. Obviously, we're going for these big players, getting them, and he might turn up and come as well. Because it's still on the table, that deal for Fofana. He just wants Champions League.
He's still in talks.
Yeah, apparently he's looking for a Champions League club, but the negotiations are still. If we're offering 50 million for Dublin, then I don't know why they don't pay Leon's 40 million and go and get him.
Can I stop you guys there?
Yeah.
We're just going to jump onto a quick break from our sponsors. We will come back. We've just we'll run through the Man United quickly, and then we will have this transfer chat because I think we've all got quite a bit to say. Let's go for a quick word from Andy's Man Club. Life is hard, and we all have bad days. There are times when we feel we can't cope. This is the time we need to reach out and talk to someone. Andy's Man Club offers local support groups nationwide, running every Monday from 7 p.m, except on bank holidays. In these groups, men can open up about the issues affecting their lives in a safe, non-judgmental environment. Our clubs are designed to be free of pressure. There is no obligation for men to speak, they can simply listen if they wish. Find us today at www.andysmanclub.co.uk. Help one guy, save one life. Andy's Man Club. It's good to talk. Okay, guys, welcome back. That was just a quick word from our sponsor, the amazing Andy's Man Club. It's good to talk. Remember that, guys. Okay, so on to the final game, Game 3. Everton were playing Man United, and this one was a 2-2 draw, and I believe it was in Atlanta, Mark?
Yeah, it was in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right? It's air-conditioned, so they didn't have to worry about being in Hotlanta, as we call it. I mean, it was a better showing, but in reality, it was a 2-1 loss, right? That goal that we scored at the end, that own goal. Yeah, that was a textbook own goal. Sometimes when the guy kicks it and it goes off the guy and goes in, I don't like it when they call that an own goal because he propelled it towards the net, but we had nothing to do with that, and I don't think I don't think the match on paper matches up with the game that we saw.
I mean, that's a fair.
I'll just say on that, the one thing I will say is I don't think it was a 2-1 loss because that first one was never a penalty for me.
Yeah, let's get into that in a minute, guys. Yeah, good shout, mate.
He went over like.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4-2-3-1 again. Jordan Pickford back between the sticks. O'Brien, Tarkowski, Keane, Mikalenko, back four. Irbunam and Garner, a pattern we've seen throughout the 3 games. James Garner, Charlie Alcaraz, and the little magician, Ilian Njai, on the other wing there, and staying with Beto. That was our lineup. So, you guys were right. The first goal was a rather soft, dubious penalty that would have been, I'd have expected to have been given like on a cold autumn night at Old Trafford. Give me your thoughts, Mark. It was a joke, wasn't it, lad?
Here's the thing. A lot of what has created the gap in Americans or North Americans not sort of taking to football faster is the softness, or not the softness, the flopping. We hate the flopping. You know, when you look at the old 70s clips back when the tough teams like Leeds United, Everton, it was like a war out there. And now that these teams are not English, they're more of an international roster, you're seeing a lot of flopping. Now, it wasn't the worst flop I ever saw, but that penalty was soft. The guy went down in the opposite direction that Tarkowski was pushing him, and administratively, I would like to see this punished in professional football. If the referee can determine that you took a dive, there's got to be some severe penalty because it's jeopardizing the honor of the game.
You know what I'm going to say here?
Yep.
If you remember, going back a few seasons, the only person that's ever been booked for a dive and sent off, Mias.
Yeah, Umar.
That's the player. He's the only player that's ever been booked and sent off for a dive.
Yeah, Premier League, corrupt as fuck.
Everton, aren't we? I mean, if someone's going to get penalized for something, it's going to be us.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, man, but the referee was wearing those body cams, weren't he? So he could have easily seen it. As it went down.
I take it was very soft for you as well then, Carl.
Very, very soft.
Yeah.
And then they kept saying on the commentary that I was listening to, it was like, oh, Tarkovsky's been out for 15 weeks, blah, blah, blah. You can tell he's rusty.
Yeah. Well, of course he
I got a question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you guys know who supplied the officials? Were they MLS officials or were they Premier League officials?
I'm not sure.
I really don't know.
I think the guy in the United game, I'm sure he was English.
Yeah. Oh, well. Not to worry anyway. Soft penalty. So just before half-time, we level it up. That little man himself, Ilian Njai. Ball one outside the area. Miko breaks to Garner. Garner guy picks it up. He played a beautiful lofted ball, and there was a little magician on the far post. Lovely little volley. 1-1. Mark, thoughts?
Beautiful goal. Definitely the peanut in the turd. I think as long as he stays healthy, we're going to be able to count on him quite a bit. I just hope it's not so much that they can key on him and then, take away our only means of production. I'd like to see that.
He has to play, whether it's left, centre, or right. Even if we have to put him on the right and we get somebody in the Grealish on the left or the centre or whatever, however the makeup of the team is going to be, if he's fit, he's going to play.
Has to start, doesn't he?
I don't like kicking Dwight McNeil. I love all of our players, but Dwight McNeil did not have a good showing in the 3 games, and we need more from him wherever he plays. I think Dwight is a squad player, we can't be relying solely on Ndai. It's going to get him hurt, and it's going to get us keyed on, right, where they all focus on him. So I think we need a more we need to disperse the offense a little bit better, but I mean, he's it. He's the golden foot for now. Garner has had some great passes, some great frees. Those are my thoughts on that.
Just saying on your point there about him getting injured, or could be potentially getting injured. You see that foul, or it should have been a foul. He should have been sent off. Fernandez, he kicked at him a couple of times, and then Jai turned around, and I thought he should have lanked him.
Yeah, agreed. I saw that, and it was great to see him stand up for himself. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was 1-1, half-time. The Manx come out again, 69th minute. Mason Mount, that man we're talking about, Bruno, like him or hate him. A little bit of a dribble around, I think it was the left side of the area. Played it into the area. Mount, for me, was unmarked. Just put his foot through the ball. Curled it beautifully, to be fair, into the back of the net. Could he have been closed down? Absolutely 100%. But that's 2-1. Thoughts, Carl?
I don't think for me, there's nothing you could have done about it. It was a perfectly great goal, you know what I mean, from them. So, hands up to that. I mean, nothing Jordan can do about saving it.
Same. You're talking about arguably the top flight of football in the world. Goals are going to happen, whether you got Jordan Pickford in there or not.
Yeah, amen. Carl, do you want to finish us off with the own goal and tell us a little bit about Tyler Onayango's little run?
But I don't even know why he's in the squad. I thought he'd have been. He was would go into Stockport or something last week. So I don't even know why he's even travelled. But bizarre. That's all I can say.
Yeah, he kind of just ran, didn't he? And he tried to cross. And do you want to pick it up from there, Mark? And just went
he was involved. I don't know whether it was him that got the own goal or whether it was that Heaven young lad that they've got.
Yeah, it was Heaven. He tried to cross it, I think, and it just bobbled off the lad. What do you reckon, Mark?
Yeah.
This is the end of the game, the Manchester own goal.
Yeah.
It was he got a lot of foot on it because he was about 20 yards out.
Yeah.
Was he not? He's out at the top of the box.
Yeah.
I did not. I kind of put that goal out of my mind. Even though it tied us up, it was just
He basically just come into the box. He tried to cross it, and it just hit the lad and went in. I mean, if it's in the Prem, we're at Sheffield, 95 minutes on the clock, 0-0, it goes in, we take it, don't we?
Right.
When you think about it, you look at the game last year at Goodison. It was 2-2. We had a penalty. Then it got turned down.
Yeah.
So
I kind of have an issue with the own goal system. I kind of feel like if you put the ball into play where it's dangerous enough and it goes in, it should almost be credited to the last offensive guy who touched it. But that was a true own goal. I mean, they kicked it straight away into their net.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to give us a quick wrap call, your positives and maybe any negatives that you got from this little tour before we go on to a little bit of transfer talk?
Positives, Jordan, Illy, 100% Illy. I like the new player as new.
Yeah.
But as I start to call him now, as good. Barry looks sharp at times. I know he hasn't scored a goal yet, but I mean he's not getting the full 90 yet. So obviously, and the new players that are going to come in, that's the positives.
Any negatives?
The negatives is someone's to blame for us not getting these players.
Yeah, we all.
I don't think it's Moyes, but I don't know whether it's the board or it's the owners or what.
Yeah. So, what about
you? People have done a lot of business from Roma's side, but nothing from ours.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Mark? Give us some positives if you've got any of the tour, and then give me a couple of negatives as well, just to even it up if you can.
Yeah, so I like the younger players and the newer players that we've brought in. I think they've had moments of sharpness and showed a little bit of brilliance. And Dye, obviously, Harrison, Armstrong as well. Nothing that Barry did really sticks out in my mind. I was happy to see him out there getting minutes. Don't like to beat up Dwight, but he's coasting along. Same goes for Pato. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Keno made mistakes when they put him on. And again, the negatives, not signing players. We had a great football coach here, American football coach in the 80s, Bill Parcells. And he said, you want me to cook, but you don't want me to be able to buy into the ingredients. So, and my grandpa used to say, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Friedkin's got to open up the bank, open up the books, and let's get some talent in here and start spending like the huge club that we are.
Well, has it gone beyond that? Is it that they're letting us go for these targets? We're getting so far with them. And then is it Hammond that's the issue? This great negotiator? Or is it something else? Is it that the players just don't want to come?
100%.
Are we targeting too high profile? I know we've got to get there. But that's my only concern.
Southampton is traditionally not a huge club, right? I know they had Letitia, but they've never been like a huge club.
No,
I think they're putting way too high of a price tag on this Dibbling.
Well, I think he said it earlier on the season. Quote me if I'm wrong, Nick. You'll have heard this as well. Do you want 100 million for him?
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
I have got. I've got a couple of mates, Ryan and Ollie, who are both Southampton fans. They're both season ticket holders at St Mary's, and we chat regularly, and they do listen to the show. So, boys, and they've basically spoken about Dibbling, over just in passing and stuff like that. They rate him very, very highly. I mean, I know obviously most of the country does. I'm going to go back to that little point we were talking about before about David Moyes, and I heard this point, and I can't remember for the life of me who made it. It was one of the Toffee, the Everton YouTube channels, and what he basically said was, Moisey kind of showing our cards, showing our hand. Every club now is going to want more cash out of us. Like Mark was touching on earlier about the Freakins with the cash and blah, blah. So I think it's a case here of, I think Dibbling, there's a very good chance of happening. Everton apparently have had permission to talk to the player. They're about £3 million. Yeah, they're about £3
He's
million
keen on the move.
apart. Yeah, £3 million apart in valuation. To me, it's like they're standing there seeing who's got the biggest balls. It's like a Mexican standoff.
Right.
I think it's going to happen, personally.
I think a lot of people are crying about this 25% selling if you want.
Yeah.
But it's 25% of the profits, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So if they sell it for 65 million, it's 25% on the 15 million difference from what we pay for him.
Yeah.
Which is not so bad.
You made a great point, Nick. If we're going to spend 45 million, why not spend the 50 million if we really want him?
Why not get him? And I'll tell you something else I'd say as well, Mark, is Jack Grealish won't go away, nor do I want him to. The talk at the minute is City are asking between 12 and 14 million pound loaning fee, as well as obviously picking up like a huge percentage of those wages. If we can't get Diblin, if the Saints are turning around and saying, well, come on, like the same way we played hardball with United over Jared, right? And we got our way. Branthwaite stayed, he signed a new 5-year contract, thank God. But why not? If we cannot get this kid, why don't we just turn around and say to City, I tell you what, instead of your ridiculous extortionate loan fee, let's just sort a deal out what you want for Jack Grealish and get Jackie G in.
We don't need him. He's playing in the 10, wouldn't he? We don't need him on the left if we've got Njai there.
He's better than what we got, mate.
He is. But would you pay, in theory, if it was your money, would you pay 50 million and say, Diblin, get the deal done now?
Yes, I would. I wouldn't haggle over between 3 and 5 million.
When you look at some of the players, look at what we sold Anthony Gordon 40 million plus 5. He's as good as him. There's other players 50 million that at least say he's gone 50 million. 50 million is you 30 million probably.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with both those points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of my sort of negatives of that US tour, just to wrap that up, was like you touched on, Mark, and yourself as well, Carl. We looked off it and we desperately needed bodies. So, I mean, who else is about? Because if you believe the rumours, and that's obviously all they are, people want to write stories. Like Douglas Luiz has got an offer on the table, yet he's holding out. He wants like a United or something. So,
Apparently he's close to Forest.
Yeah. Now there's another destination, yeah.
We won't pay the fee that Juventus want for him or something. I think we want a loan first, and they want to sell him.
But you see, I don't understand this because he's played in the Premier League. He was a Villa, was he not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a Villa, yeah.
Yeah, so he knows, using the old Sean Dyche terminology, he knows the Premier League and whatever.
He's experienced.
He's experienced. He comes from like Juventus. I know it's a different league, the Serie A, but we know the lad has played in the Prem. So
positive behind him is his missus. Is it Alicia Lehmann or whatever her name is? She's the Swedish player for the women. She's played at Everton before, and she's boss.
Yeah, Swiss. Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if like most of us,
you get a double header.
Yeah, if like most of us, like your wife gets to like their own way, then we may well end up having him anyway. But
hey, they pull more power than you know. Janet Jones had a lot to do with Wayne Gretzky going to LA and in the hockey world. But,
man. When we tried to sign Giroud, and his missus wouldn't let him come.
Yeah. She didn't want to go to Liverpool, did she? Stuck up cunt. She wanted to go down to London. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That said, though, we did have what's her name? Asmir Begovic's wife, who loved Everton, didn't we? Okay, so we've got one that's nearly done then. KDH, Keenan, Dewsbury, Hall, the Chelsea number 10.
Good player.
25 million, the word around the campfire is. He's had a medical, apparently. What are we thinking? I'm loving it. What do you think, Mark?
I think it's a done deal, I thought. I thought I had read it's a done deal, is it not?
He's agreed the terms and stuff. It's just waiting for the results of the medical. Everything's 2-day medical.
Yeah.
Everyone else takes a day. We take 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
I mean,
expect that tomorrow to be announced.
I'm expecting the next 24 hours for KDH, to be honest.
And I'm glad that we cleared up how we're going to refer to this guy, because saying that entire name is a fucking mouthful, right? So,
when you're watching the commentary, it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah. KDH would be a lot cheaper sticking them initials on your shirt, wouldn't it, than the entire fucking thing? God knows how much a letter.
It's all in with the name in it, so.
Absolutely. So, before we wrap this one up then, we have actually signed someone, a left back. You touched on him earlier, Carl, Adam Asnu. Or Asnu, as the Scottish might say. Left back. What are we thinking?
I think you've got to start for the future, tell you.
Yeah. Agreed. I think he's
So
a quality signing. What do you
I
think,
think
Mark?
he'll put more pressure on Mikalenko than what they expect.
I hope so. I love Miko. I do. But everybody needs that little bit of a challenge in their job, or don't they?
As a defensive left back, Miko's great. I mean, you watch him against the Liverpools and Salahs and Sakas. He's brilliant. He's got them in the pocket, but
Always.
he can't go forward.
Yeah, that's the problem. He stops at the halfway line. And what do you think, Mark?
I can't really offer an opinion. You guys watch football all across Europe, whereas I'm more of mainly an Everton follower. I'm pretty good about statistics in that. It sounds like he is a solid defensive player. 0 career goals. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It sounds like his whole thing is, stifling the other team's production. But now that we got that side locked up, what are we going to do about the right side?
We need the right back.
Would you take Maitland-Niles? He's been linked, hasn't he?
I would. I'd take him. We've what's really pissed me off over this whole right back situation is we've known about this for 10 years.
He's not a bombing right back though, is he?
No. But he's better than Pato. He's an upgrade, isn't he?
Yeah. The player that we have been linked with, and I don't know if you've seen it, is Sanchez. He plays for Sevilla.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
He's a bombing right back. So I'd take him and think 13 million, I think he said.
Well, we need to get it tied up, don't we? Which leads us basically nicely into our final little segment of the evening, which is AS Roma on Saturday, the Friedkin Derby. What would you like to see, Mark, before that game? Like signing-wise?
I would like to see this winger business secured.
Yeah.
And the right back. I kind of feel like we're solid across the back 4 in the middle, right? Branthwaite, Tarkowski, O'Brien, right? And then we got Asnu on the left side. I like our midfielders. Ganagay. Did we keep Mangala, or did he go out on loan, or did he go someplace else?
Yeah.
He's till October, November with a metatarsal. He's got a bad injury and he's out till Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll keep him. You got Tim, who's not looking as good as he did when he came on last year, but he's okay, right?
Yeah.
And then we've got a lot of power up front, just not any finishing power and no speed down the right side. So if we could just address those areas, I think we're still looking at a stand-up top half finish.
I think we need, don't we? We've got. I mean, we're harping on, aren't we? Like all Evertonians, we need that extra striker. We need the right back. We need that right wing and somebody in the middle there, don't we? What do you want to see, Carl? In hindsight, if you had your way, what do you want to see by Saturday?
Let's face it. I expect Keenan Dewsbury Hall to be signed tomorrow, but whether he'll be in the team or in the squad, although I don't think he'll start on Saturday. I think he'll be on the bench and come on if he's there. I'd like to see us go get a right winger who again might be on the bench.
Yeah.
Or just there. So at least we know we've got one.
I think we all agree, don't we, that we do need extra players in before this game, because this is
like to be Barney start.
Yeah.
With as much creativity as we can. And then place.
I'm sorry, Carl. Are we playing this match at the Dixie, or is it in Rome?
No,
it's the Dixie.
It's at the Dixie, mate. It's AS Roma versus Everton at Bramley Moor.
Yeah.
And then a little bit after that, there's like a Legends game, a Roma and Everton Legends game. So it's just like another one, basically, for the fans, isn't it?
Legends game against Everton. Part-time, just turn up, whoever you want.
It might be 20 lads in the pub over the fucking road. I've seen that Legends list, and like, all due respect, I'm through and through. But like,
he's obviously busy.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to touch on something. I forgot about this. The little side note: the guy who either owns or runs the Brick, Mark Leary, he made the tour, and sound guy, great guy. If you guys can get down to the Bramley Moor pub, and down to the Brick.
On County Road.
What's that?
On County Road.
Yeah, exactly. Spend a little money. That guy loves the club. If you find yourself over there, I I'm a little nervous about how those guys are going to do now that we've moved a mile away.
Well, I think initially what he was talking about, I think he did a video on it. He was going to try and run buses, to the new ground, and obviously bring them back, and then obviously get a pub full of people coming back.
Well, have they sorted out the traffic? Have they sorted out the traffic?
No.
Okay.
No.
Still a logistic nightmare. Think Chicago, but 10 times worse.
You can't say, get
really?
off at Moorfields and walk half an hour. Some people can't walk half an hour.
No, they can't.
And you don't want to get off sandals, that's dangerous. I get on and off there to go to work every day. And that's a dangerously narrow platform, especially on a match day. I wouldn't chance it.
Okay.
Dangerous dangerous because of traffic or because of...
No, it's so narrow, the platform, that when you're trying to get the people in there, it's just not going to happen.
I got you.
Okay,
that's going to have to be addressed.
Before they do something, I reckon there'll be an accident before. No. With it. And that'll be down to one of his faces, the red shaped fella who's running the council. Rather than whatever his name is.
There's going to be some kind of fan zone outside the stadium towards the street. Are people that don't have tickets going to be able to access that and maybe watch the games on a big screen with beer tents and stuff? Or what's that going to be all about?
I'm not sure. Because we're talking about obviously there's no parking around by the stadium.
No.
And that's the issue for people going to the club shop. Now that's opened. There's nowhere to park. You'd think you'd just be able to park local and then nip over to the club shop, but you can't.
Yeah. That's still not been ironed out, that, Mark, in answer to your original question. I mean, hopefully, obviously, as we go along, that will be.
Now, is that an Everton matter, or is that something that we have to work with the city on?
It should really be the council. I'd imagine it'd stop with them, the buck would stop with them. So, I'll tell you what, boys, let's leave it on a positive note then. Carl, give us a prediction. AS Roma, Everton.
Last year, I think it was a draw, wasn't it, when we all got hyped up before the game. It was a derby and then it didn't happen. Yeah. Let's see. 2-1, Everton. My heart's all in my head.
Yeah, go ahead then, lad. What about you, Mark?
2-0 Everton, Garner with a goal, and Die with a goal.
Do you know what? I'm a shithouse. I'm saying 1-1.
I think Barry might get his first goal if we went 2-1.
Yeah, now that's a shout. You heard it here first. Right, we're going to wrap it up.
That would be a pick-me-up.
Yeah, we've been waffling for nearly an hour.
Cool.
I think we've kept these folks here long enough. Mark, an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you so much for your friendship, for being our North American correspondent, and for giving us your insight, my mate, into what it was like at Soldier Field in Chicago.
Yeah, again, thanks for having me. I'm honored to be a part of this. I apologize for not having the business or the on-field technical expertise, but I love this club and I love participating in this show.
That's the only thing you need is that, the love for this club. You don't need nothing else.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, thank you for that. Speaking of the Roman match, is it going to be televised?
It's on Everton TV, from what I believe. They charge £8.
Fair enough. $15, I think, for me.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it'll be...
I might have to bite the bullet and pay for it myself.
Yeah.
I've got nowhere to watch it.
I think that one game will probably be better than the combined 3 that we just had over in the States. So I think the players are back on the grass tomorrow, Wednesday morning. So hopefully the club can push forward, sort out this dilemma over players, get us a couple of new faces in, and give us a good old show for the first sort of proper curtain raiser at the Dixie on Saturday. We are going to leave it there. Do you want to see us on, boys?
2 players this week and 1 next week, I think, ready for the start of the season.
Let's leave it there. I'll see you later, guys. Up the fucking toffees.